Cheap Trick is an American rock band from Rockford, Illinois, formed in 1973. The band consists of vocalist Robin Zander, guitarist Rick Nielsen, bassist Tom Peterson, and drummer Bun E. In 1967, Rick Nielsen formed Fuse, with Tom Peterson, who played in another band called the Weevils, with Bun E. joining on drums. Fuse moved to Philadelphia in 1971. They began calling themselves Sick Man of Europe in 1973. After a European tour, Nielsen and Peterson returned to Rockford and reunited with Carlos. Randy Hagen was the original lead singer for Cheap Trick. He left the band shortly after its formation and was replaced by Robin Zander. The name was inspired by the band's attendance at a Slade concert, where Peterson commented that the band used every Cheap Trick in the book as part of their act. With Robin Zander on vocals, the band recorded a demo in 1975 and played in warehouses, bowling alleys, and other venues around the Midwestern United States. In early 1976 the band was signed to Epic Records. The band released its first album, Cheap Trick, in early 1977. While favored by critics, the album did not sell well. Their second album, In Color and Black and White, was released later that year. The singles, I Want You to Want Me and Southern Girls, failed to chart. However, in 2012, In Color was ranked number 443 on Rolling Stone magazine's list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. The band's third album, Heaven Tonight, was released in May 1978. The track, Surrender, was Cheap Trick's first single to chart in the United States, peaking at number 62. It has gone on to become one of the band's signature songs. When Cheap Trick went to Japan to tour for the first time in April 1978, they were received with a frenzy reminiscent of Beatlemania. During the tour, Cheap Trick recorded 2 concerts at the Nippon Budokan. 10 tracks taken from both shows were compiled and released as a live album titled Cheap Trick at Budokan. Demand for the import album became so great that Epic Records finally released the album in the United States in February 1979. Dream Police was released in 1979 and was their third album produced by Tom Werman. The title track of the album was a hit single, as was Voices. Dream Police also found the band taking its style in a more experimental direction by incorporating strings and dabbling in heavy metal on tracks like Gonna Raise Hell. By 1980, when All Shook Up was released, Cheap Trick was headlining arenas. All Shook Up, produced by former Beatles producer George Martin, reached number 24 on the charts and was certified gold, but the album's high-class background did not save it from descriptions like Led Zeppelin Gone Psycho. In July 1981, CBS Incorporated sued Cheap Trick and their manager Ken Adamany for $10 million, alleging they were attempting to coerce CBS into renegotiating their contract. The lawsuit was settled in early 1982 and work commenced on the next album, One on One. The album spawned 2 minor hits with the power ballad, If You Want My Love, and the innuendo-laced rocker, She's Tight. The following year, Cheap Trick released Next Position Please. The band recorded the title track, Up the Creek, for the Tim Matheson comedy, Up the Creek, which Nielsen later called one of the worst songs he'd ever written. In 1985, the band recorded Standing on the Edge. The album's first single, Tonight It's You, reached number 8 on the Billboard's Top Rock Tracks chart. In 1986, the band recorded Mighty Wings for the film Top Gun. They then released The Doctor in the fall. The album's lone single, It's Only Love, failed to chart. The music video for It's Only Love made history as the first music video to prominently use American Sign Language. The Doctor turned out to be the band's final album with John Brent as bassist. Brandt parted on good terms with the band. Peterson rejoined the group to record 1988's Lap of Luxury, produced by Richie Zito. Due to the band's commercial decline, Epic Records insisted that the band collaborate with professional songwriters on the album. The Flame, a ballad, was issued as the first single from the album and became the band's first ever #1 hit. The second single, a cover of Elvis Presley's Don't Be Cruel, also reached the top 5. Lap of Luxury went platinum and became recognized as the band's comeback album. Billboard commented, "After a long hitless streak, Cheap Trick brings it all back home."